Hey, how do you know if you are prepared for retirement? Here's what most of you do. You wait for a certain age. Once I reach 62, 65, 66, yeah, then I'm going to leave. I'm going to punch. I'm going to retire. Or you wait for a certain level of wealth. That is not the way to go. Stick around for today's show, and we will give you the guide to a successful retirement. Welcome, everyone. Show's called Your Money or Wealth. My name's Joe Anderson, president here of Pure Financial Advisors. And this show just wouldn't be a show without Big Al Clopine in his navy pinstripe suit. I say it's black, he said it's navy, but who cares? We're talking retirement. You know, when you look at retirement, there's a lot of things that you have to consider in regards to being successful or not. It's not about an age, it's not about a number, because if you're worried about a certain level of wealth, you could have retired maybe a lot earlier, or that level of wealth is not going to get you anywhere to where you need to be. That's today's financial focus. Here's the stats, folks. Here's the stats. Look at this. It doesn't matter what level of wealth. You have lower income, mid-income, high income. The numbers across the board, 28, 31, 29, that means a shortfall. All of us are still very short to having assets to complete a successful retirement. The problem is that we really don't know what we're doing out there. There's a lot of different terms. There's a lot of different acronyms. We have to figure out exactly what we need to do, but first of all, we need to figure out what tools that we should use. We had Jason Thomas hit the streets to see if you guys really know what you're talking about.
Hey guys, Jason here. We're hanging out at Mission Beach having some fun. We got a stack of terms. Some of them are internet speak in general, some of them are financial terms. We're gonna see if people know which ones are which and what they are in general. I haven't seen them yet. Let's have some fun. We're hanging out at Mission Beach with Dave. We got Chris here enjoying an ice cream. We got Dan here on Mission Beach. We're gonna see what terms he knows. Hey, here with Donna and Bailey, gonna go over some quick terms. What do you think IDK means, Chris?
I don't know.
You are correct. You do know.
I don't know.
Exactly. Great.
I don't know.
Exactly. What does IDK usually mean?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Perfect. Next one is IRA. What would that be?
IRA?
IRA?
Irish Republican Army?
Wow. Actually, yes, but not for this situation. What's an IRA?
Oh man, I wasn't listening.
What is an IRA?
It's something to do with banking and I don't know.
Individual retirement account?
Great. You have one of those?
I do.
Perfect. That's good to hear. Now, everybody knows what this is, but most people don't know what it stands for. What is the IRS?
Internal Revenue Service.
Great. Chris is on a roll here.
It's Internal Revenue Securities Services, something?
Yes.
Insurance? No.
He hasn't had enough bad experiences with them yet to know.
Internal Revenue Service.
Exactly. Then we've got FB. What would that usually mean?
Facebook.
Excellent. Good work.
Facebook?
Exactly. What does FB usually stand for?
Facebook.
Exactly. Perfect. FB, what's that usually mean?
Facebook?
Perfect. The most important one that we have here, what does YMYW mean?
Your money, your wealth.
Your money, your wealth.
Your money, your wealth. Your money, your wealth.
Exactly. Thanks.
Our youth needs some work there, Big Al. They do know your money or wealth. I don't know if anyone
Well, they don't know
watching the show.
IRS, but they know your money, your wealth. I feel honored.
Speaking of IRS, that was pretty good. That's Jason Thomas right there.
Yeah,
hitting the streets hard.
Yes.
I think he was enjoying himself on the beach.
I used to hit the streets a couple years ago, but I guess I wasn't good enough.
It never made the...
We had to recruit somebody else. So,
yes.
be that as it may, Joe.
Let's get prepared for retirement.
Yeah, I want to talk about our show today, which is basically, before you retire, maybe you got to do a little readiness, kind of a little exam. Make sure you're ready for retirement. So what are the types of things that you need to do? Well, first of all, you got to figure out whether you're on track. That's we're going to go through that numerically, so you can know exactly. It's not necessarily an age, as Joe said, or not necessarily a certain dollar amount. It's what income it's going to produce for your goals. So that's number one. And then boosting your savings. It turns out most of us, or many of us, are behind. So how can we create greater savings. And let's not forget income taxes, because a lot of expense in retirement goes to income taxes and finally putting together a plan. Joe, these 4 steps, as simple as they may sound, it's something that most people don't take a look at before they retire.
Yeah, most definitely. It's like, it never fails. You and I have been doing this a long time. And it's like, well, why did you pick this certain date for retirement? It's like, well, I turned 66. So I thought that's when I should retire.
Right.
And they're not anywhere near ready. So let's go to this real quick. Let's kind of give a quick example of some exercises that you probably want to do. Let's say you want to spend $75,000. That's always going to be your starting point. That's the goal. What do you want to spend on an annual basis? Then you have to do a little bit of research here. What's your Social Security income going to be? If you're married, look at you and your spouse, go to SSA.gov. And then if you have pension income as well, you want to add those dollar figures up. So you want to spend $75,000. You have $50,000 coming in as pension and Social Security, so you're going to be short about $25,000 in this example. What does that mean? Well, that means that $25,000 needs to come from somewhere. So that's your IRAs, your Roth IRAs, your mutual funds, your cash, whatever that you have liquid. So to determine how much money that you need, given this example, you just multiply that $25,000 by 25, and then that would give you a number. So you would need about $625,000 saved to make sure that you can accomplish that, right? So if you do not have $625,000 in that simple fact pattern, you're going to run out of liquid capital in most cases.
Right, and Joe, I would say most people, when they do this exercise, they really don't have that much money saved. So then it's a matter of figuring out your current age, what you do currently have, and then when you want to retire, and then how much you actually need to save to do that. And we've got an example.
Right, it's like, okay, well, if I need $625, what do I need to do?
Yeah, so let's say you're at age 55 and you want to retire at age 62. And then at age 62, and you got $250,000 today. So you would need to save about $30,000 per year at a 6% rate of return to make that figure. Now, plan 2 is, well, what if I pushed it back a few years to age 66? The same $625,000, I only need to save $10,000 per year. It's because of the compounding of money. Now, this is a very simple example, right? Because it's not including inflation. It's not including that your Social Security would be higher and a bunch of other things like that. But at least it gives you an idea kind of how to look at this.
You know, but here's a good point to that, Al. I mean, the difference between an annual savings number was about $20,000.
Right.
Just by pushing your Social Security, or just by pushing your retirement date out.
And that's 4 years.
A couple of years.
4 years, you cut your savings by a third.
Right. It's like people are like, there's no way I can save $30,000 a year. But $10,000, yeah, maybe I can do that. All right. Well, if you can save $10,000, then you got to push your retirement out a couple of years. This is what a pre-retirement plan is all about. Really understanding exactly what that goal is, what you're going to receive as fixed income, how much money that you need to accumulate, and then putting a strategy together to make sure that you keep yourself on track. It's just like with everything else in life. But for some reason with retirement, we either don't want to talk about it, we don't want to understand how much money that we need because it scares us. But if you do a little bit of math here, it's all arithmetic. That's all this is. And then you can put yourself in a better position when it comes to retirement. Al, it's just a simple equation here, right?
Yeah. And another thing along with this, Joe, is kind of a reality check. So if you think you can live off $75,000 in retirement, then take a look at your current income. And let's say you got about $110,000 of current income, and you've got $10,000 that you're saving per year, 110 minus 10. So now you're probably, you got about $100,000 lifestyle. That's what you're currently spending. And if your plan says that you think you're going to live off of $75,000, well, that's $25,000 less per year than you're currently living. So why not try that today? It's kind of like a kind of a retirement warm-up, Joe. It's see if you can live off of that. That gives you a little bit of a reality check, because a lot of times people will think, yeah, I can live off less. But if they try it before they retire, a lot of times they realize they can't necessarily.
Right. I mean, that's $25,000. So you should be able to save then $35,000 until your retirement if you truly think that you can cut your spending that much. In our experience, it's very difficult to do that. But if you're confident that, hey, we're not going to be spending that much, well, then take that, practice it, and then deploy that into more savings. That's going to create a better retirement for you. Retire a little bit early, spend a little bit more money. It's just tweaking a couple of different things. Hey, we got to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to continue on with this checklist to make sure that you are prepared for retirement. Do not go anywhere. Good morning, everyone. Hey, welcome back to the show. Show's called Your Money or Wealth. Joe Anderson and Big Al hanging out. Hey, what I want to do is give you all a free retirement guide. That's what we're talking about today. All you got to do is go to yourmoneyorwealth.com and download it right there on our website. It's a retirement guide. That's what we're talking about. But before we get more into your retirement, let's go to the true-false question.
You need to be over 59.5 to convert your IRA to a Roth IRA to avoid penalties. True or false? The answer to that is false, and a lot of people get that one wrong. They think that to convert from their IRA to a Roth IRA, they got to wait till 59.5 to avoid penalties. You can actually do that at any age. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever it may be, you can do the conversion. There are no 10% penalties. You will have to pay taxes, though, so realize that. A lot of people don't necessarily realize that either. Accountants like to call that phantom income. It will show up as income on your return as if you received it. You're just transferring from an IRA to a Roth. So you will pay taxes on that income, but all future growth in income and principal is tax-free on the Roth IRA, so any age.
Yeah, huge mistakes there. It's like, well, no, I'm under 59.5, and so I shouldn't do a conversion. And a lot of you that are under 59.5 should absolutely be taking a look at this, and it all really depends on your tax bracket. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show.
Joe, I think now at this point, we're going to have you answer a question that, by the way, for our viewers, Joe has not yet seen. We call this Countdown to Retirement.
Alan and Joe, I would like to know what the new tax laws are and how that's going to affect me.
What new tax laws? So is he talking tax reform? Well, here's basically kind of a large picture of tax reform. Is right now we got a 10%, 15, 25, 28, 33, 35% tax rates marginally federally. And so what they're looking at doing is shrinking those down, making 10 and 15%, right around 12 or 13. They're looking at 25 and 28% tax brackets, calling it 25. And everything else, it might be a 33% tax bracket, 35, so it would reduce from 39.6 to something like that. But here's the biggest impact, is that a lot of the deductions that you itemize are going to change. You will no longer be able to deduct your state tax. So we are taping this in California. If you make income, right, you got to pay state tax. That's a huge deduction for a lot of you. Medical expenses, you will no longer be able to deduct. Miscellaneous expenses, no longer to deduct. So just because the rates might be shrinking, the deductions are going away. So you've got to be really careful and stick around until we get more information.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to note that these are tax proposals.
Right.
There's nothing that's actually happened yet. So we'll have to see, because President Trump wants to do certain things. The Republicans, House Republicans want to do certain things. So stay tuned. We'll have to see what it becomes. So getting back to our topic, the next thing I want to talk about is boosting savings, because a lot of folks are behind. So we want to give you some tips. And you've heard this before, or these tips before, but it bears repeating. The first one is pay yourself first. And that simply means have savings amounts coming right out of your paycheck, right? So you don't even see them. That's really the best way to go. And the best way to do that is with a 401k or a 403b. Certainly make sure you contribute at least up to your company's match if they have it. That's number one. And then for a lot of you that aren't contributing, it might be difficult to save. And so we have a couple tips for you, Joe. Maybe as folks are getting bonuses, maybe try to put half of that towards your 401k or savings. Or as you get a raise, try to allocate a little bit more each and every year, so that in a few years you're saving up to the maximum amount.
Right. I mean, it's just like losing weight. I mean, you're not going to drop 100 pounds overnight. You know, you slowly got to work into this. And I think pay yourself first. It's so common, but still no one does it, because we do the exact opposite. We spend, and then it's like, man, I really got to save that 10% of my income. And guess what? There's not 10% left because you spent it all. If you saved it first, right, and then spend everything else, you don't have to budget. You don't have to, you know, get to Quicken or Mint.com and all this other stuff. Just save what you need to save and spend everything else. It sounds easy, but I understand it's difficult.
And Joe, there's many different places that you can save, and I guess we'll start with the IRA. With an IRA, you can save $5,500 per year, or $6,500 if you're 50 and older. Now, 401k, 403b, you can save $18,000 into that. $24,000 if you're 50 and older, and you can actually do both. You can do an IRA and a 401k for those of you that have 401ks. And realize this, if you max both of those kind of plans out, you can still save outside of your retirement account, and there's no limit. Save as much as you possibly can, because that's what's going to impact your retirement.
Right. If you want to illustrate this, so you have IRA or 401k savings, you have Roth savings, and then you have after-tax savings. And all of these are a little bit different on what benefit that you get by going into those plans, and then what the benefit is by taking dollars out. So you have to look at both ends of the street here, right? A lot of us are just so focused, hey, I got to save, let's do the 401k plan, you get a little bit of a tax deduction, but then next thing you know, when you hit retirement, all of your money is in this tax-deferred account. So you want to spread your savings out in different areas. I want tax-free money. I want tax-deferred money. I want taxable money. Because then when it comes time to create that income, you're going to be able to control your taxes. I mean, that is key. If you are a good saver, you want to make sure that that money stretches very far throughout your life or pass it to the next generation tax effectively. You know, when you look at the three different pools of money, right, you want to make sure you understand where your money falls. It could be right down here, right? So that's your tax-deferred assets. That's your IRAs and 401ks. When you pull money out of these accounts, it's going to be taxed at ordinary income. So here's your rates. But a lot of you are ignoring this pool up here, which is key. That's tax-free coming out. So when you take dollars out of here, you will never pay tax on that. We like 0% tax rates quite a bit. But it's not like, hey, let's just put everything here then. No, you want to make sure that you have a combination of these three pools to make sure that you optimize the taxes going in, but I think also more importantly, going out. Because when you start taking dollars out, that's it, right? You're not working anymore. This is what's going to create your retirement income. And if you can save those dollars in tax, Al, as you know, we can stretch those dollars out a little bit.
Right, and we talked about putting money into a Roth IRA, contributing. That's at $5,500 or $6,500 per year. Now, you can also convert. You can do Roth conversions, and when you do Roth conversions, get this, there's no earned income requirement. In other words, you can earn any level. You don't even have to earn anything from a salary. There's no age limit, there's no income limit, and there's no dollar limit on conversion. So truly, every single person that has an IRA can do a Roth conversion. Then it's simply a matter of figuring out, should you convert or how much you should convert, and that's where you kind of look at your tax bracket. You look at your tax bracket today, you look at your tax bracket in retirement, and you come up with a plan to figure out how much to convert. You may want to convert a lot. You may not want to do a lot in 1 year, right? Because then you'll be in a high bracket. So you probably want to do this slowly.
You know, those
time.
bullet points that were just up there, I would say those are the most common questions that we get. So we'll talk about Roth IRA conversions, and people will say, well, no, I make too much money to do a Roth conversion. False, right? No, I'm not 59 and a half, so I cannot do it. No, that's false. There's no age, no income, anything. Anyone can do this as long as you have a retirement account, but you want to do it effectively, right? If I'm a younger saver, it might make a lot of sense for me to start chipping away and getting more money into a tax-free account so it compounds tax-free for me. You want to look at all aspects of your financial life. Taxes, of course, if you've ever seen the show, is Al and I's big topic, because we can't control stock markets, but you can control the tax that you pay. We want to control the things that we can control and just be a little bit smarter than most to enhance your overall retirement. All right, we got to take another break, and when we get back, we're going to flip the show to you. Make sure that we answer your email questions and kind of wrap everything up. We'll be right back in just a second. The show's called Your Money, Your Wealth. Hey, welcome back to the show. Show's called Your Money or Wealth. Joe Anderson and Big Al Clopine hanging out here this morning. Hey, are you ready for retirement? Get your Readiness guide. You can download that at our website at Your Money or Wealth. Get the guide right now, Your Money or Wealth. Before we end the show with your email questions, let's go to the true-false question.
Social Security benefits are subject to income taxes at certain levels. Well, that is true, Joe. For single taxpayers, $25,000 is the number. Provisional income, which is half of your Social Security, plus the rest of your other income, $25,000. For married, it's $32,000. But let's do this, Joe. Let's kind of wrap up the show by figuring out, once you've determined what you need to do to get ready for retirement, you got to set up your plan. So first and foremost is your goals. And here's some goals that you might want to take a look at, like, what's your lifestyle? What do you think you want to spend in retirement? Where do you want to live? At what age do you want to retire? How long does your money have to last? That's a tough one because we don't know exactly how long we're going to live. But I would say plan on at least living to 90, 95, or 100 to make sure you're not going to outlive your money. And then finally, consider how much retirement you want your kids to get, whether that's important for you. So once you know that, then you can come up with the actionable plan. So the first one might be saving $10,000 a year in our example that we did earlier in the show. So that would be number one to get there. Maybe a 6% rate of return might be needed to get this done. Certainly consider Social Security strategies, what's the best for you, and always, always, always have a contingent plan because you never know exactly what's going to happen medically or otherwise. Have enough insurance and other resources to be able to fall back on.
Very well done, Mr. Clopine. Very well done. Let's do this. Let's go to the email bag and see what we got in store today.
First one's from Greg and Del Mar. Most of the money I've saved for retirement is tied up in real estate. How can I access those funds without having to pay large capital gain taxes? Boy, Greg, that's a question we get all the time, and I'll give you a few thoughts, because typically you sell a property and you have to pay capital gains taxes on the sale. The ways that you can get money out, the first and foremost is to borrow against it. You may not want to do that because then you got to pay it back, but if you borrow against it, that's not taxable. You may want to consider putting it into a tax-exempt trust, also known as a charitable remainder trust. There are ways to get money out. You'll still pay taxes on it, but not currently. In other words, the trust can sell it, pay no tax currently, you get a lifetime earnings stream, and you pay taxes slowly as you go. Another might be an installment sale or a 1031 exchange, perhaps, to trade into a property that has a better cash flow. So there's a couple thoughts for you. What do you have to add, Joe?
Changing the show name, Big Al. It's called Tax Chat.
Tax Chat,
Tax
yes.
Chat with
Right.
Big Al. Let's go to the second email question.
Next one is Liz, Carmel Valley. I'm starting a business and I want to tap into my retirement accounts to fund the launch. Is there a way to access money without incurring penalties? That's a question, Joe, we get all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Don't do it, right? Don't do it. No, there's no, I mean, it's a hardship. If you're going to tap into your retirement accounts to fund a business, right, well, that's an arm's length transaction. You can't really invest in your own business inside a retirement account. You can invest in someone else's startup business in a retirement account. But if you're looking at taking distributions from a retirement account to fund your overall business, that would be a distribution that would be fully taxable, 10% penalty. So you want to make sure that you find your cash probably somewhere else. If you need to, if you think you're going to make millions of dollars, go for it. But the likelihood of small businesses, I'd be careful there. We have time for one more. Let's hit it.
Yes, we do. We get to all three today. So this is Heidi from Crest. I want to move out of the country for my retirement. Can I limit the amount my Social Security benefits are taxed, since some of my income will come from outside the United States? Well, Heidi, let me kind of explain how this works. As an American citizen, you get taxed on worldwide income regardless of where you live. So regardless of your foreign country, Social Security will be taxed, and your worldwide income may be earned in this other country will be taxed as well. In the U.S., it may be also taxed in the foreign country. The taxes that you pay in the foreign country, you can get a tax credit generally in the U.S., but no, you can't avoid paying taxes by moving to a foreign country. There is a way to do it, though, and that's to become an expat, to renounce your citizenship. That's the only way that I know how to do that, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to give up your citizenship, and I don't think you probably want to do that.
Probably not.
You know, great job there, Alan. Alan, I think, had a little bit of Red Bull this morning. He's fired up. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Again, if you want, you can go to our website to get your pre-retirement guide. Are you ready for retirement? Hopefully this helped you out. Join us again next week. We're going to have more fun facts about your retirement, taxes, investment, and a lot more. For Big Al Clopine, I'm Joe Anderson. You just watched Your Money, Your Wealth. Have a great day, everyone. Boom.